Sai Ram, dear brothers and sisters. I would like to share with you today a little incident that I call the last prank. This is started in March 2011 when Swami was taken to hospital. And we started a national program where we would all repeat Gayatri 9 times every day and pray for his health. So to support this program, we started a blog, a web page, where I was one of the editors, and every week we would publish a quote about Gayatri or any quote, inspiring quote. My turn was 23rd April 2011. And the quote that was picked was from Summer Showers 1974. It started, "You should make an attempt to find good in whatever you see. Whether you see good or bad, you must regard it as good." And then it goes on. And I thought it's such a wonderful quote. It needs to be accompanied by something cheerful. So why don't I find some cheerful tune on YouTube and put it there to go with this quote. And so I just clicked to YouTube, I typed cheerful and something, and a song comes up, and I played a little bit of the song, and it's a song by Louis Armstrong. It's called "When the Saints Go Marching In." And I looked at this little video, and Louis Armstrong was all smiles. The tune was rather cheerful. It was a march. So I thought, wow, this is what a good pick. And I put it there and I published it. And then I sat down, I played the song again, and I read more about it. You need to understand that language. English is not my first language, and I'm having difficulties understanding poetry even in my own language, and if it's part of a song, it's very difficult to understand the meaning of a song in English. So, to me it was cheerful, there were saints in it, that was all I needed to know. So it was published, and then I did my research 1 hour later, and I realized "When the Saints Go Marching In" is a song played at funerals. And I was horrified, naturally, because we were having a program to pray for Swami's health to improve, and I would publish a song like this. So I ran to my computer and I fixed this error and published another song. And then I went to sleep, and then early 24th I woke up, and the news reached me about Swami had left his body, and obviously a lot of emotions were happening, but one of the things that came to me was that, and especially now with some time, how lovingly Swami said goodbye to all of us here in the Czech Republic by sending this song in advance, even though I thought it was a mistake and I fixed it. But I found that Swami has often his ways of letting us know that he's always guiding us and loving us in everything we do. And he, especially in my case, some people call it tests, but I just call it pranks. And usually I play along with the drama, and Swami laughs. Sometimes I literally hear him laugh. And when I do, I'm happy because I see, okay, I performed well, I amused the Lord, so all is well. I want to go back to one point that I mentioned in the beginning. I call this the last prank. But no, it was not the last prank. Swami continues to play pranks on me, in the very least, and I'm sure he continues to guide and support all of us until today and forever.
In the year 2020, during the beginning of COVID, where I had traveled to Europe to represent my college at a competition, and my parents wanted me to travel back early due to the restrictions that were being placed. So I had to travel alone for the first time from Germany to Sri Lanka, all by myself, because before that I always had friends or family accompanying me during flights. And I was always prone to air sickness, so the journey is never easy for me. So it was at the Dubai airport where I had around 2 hours for my transit. So I had to move from one terminal to another in a train, and then I did a bit of shopping there. I had to buy a few chocolates. So when we pay for the shopping, like for the goods that you buy, you have to show your passport and your boarding pass as proof of document. At that time, when I tried looking for my passport, I realized that I had misplaced it somewhere. The only thing that my parents kept on saying to me was not to lose my passport and my wallet at any time. And it was the first thing that came up onto my mind. What was I going to say to everyone? And how am I going to travel back to Sri Lanka? And my flight was in, I think, 30 minutes time. So I started panicking and I started looking for it right beside me. And then one of the officers told me that to look for it for the next maybe 10 minutes, and if I could not find it, that it was best to go and talk to the Dubai police, because Dubai airport was one of the places which has a huge history of passport scams. I was shocked. I was terrified of what I was going to do next. And then after a moment, I remembered where my mother would always say to stay calm and chant Gayatri Mantra. So I just started praying to Swami within me, chanting the Gayatri Mantra and looking for the passport. 5 minutes into the search, an unknown man who looked like a senior officer, who was tall and fair, he approached me by himself, and it felt like he knew what was happening. He was like, "Have you lost something? Have you lost your passport?" And I was like, "How did you know?" And then he was like, "Do not worry about it. Just go back in the way that you walked and look for it." And I said, "I moved terminals. I'm not sure whether I'll be able to find it." And he told me to not worry about it. Just walk within this building. Go through the way that you got here, and you will find it. And I was like, okay, let me just try that. And I walked in the same path that I came in. And then I remembered that I went to a cafe nearby to get some coffee. So I just walked to that place to see if by any chance where I had left my passport there. And to see on the tabletop right next to the counter was my passport with my boarding pass. It was untouched. In the year 2011, it was not very easy for me to understand or digest the fact that I would not get to see Swami in his physical form again. With the guidance of my Bali Vikas gurus and my Sai brothers and sisters, I slowly started to understand that now Swami has come to stay within us. And over the years, I gradually realized Swami's presence and vibrations within me and around me at all time. So now, to keep in touch with Swami, it was not required to travel to Parthi or somewhere to actually feel Swami's presence. It has become much more easy, where I would now just chant Gayatri Mantra or Sai Gayatri and pray to Swami from within me. And I would listen to bhajans, where I would just plug my AirPods at any time of the day and listen to bhajans and pray to Swami from within.
Mein Name ist Angelika Berger und ich möchte euch 2 Geschichten von mir und Swami erzählen. Die erste Geschichte war im Mai 2011. Ich hatte von Swami geträumt. In dem Traum war ich in der Kulwand Hall plötzlich und stehe neben Swami. Gefühlt waren Millionen von Menschen in dieser großen Halle. Swami bat mich, mit ihm mich an einen Tisch zu setzen. Er holte ein Monopoly-Spiel raus und hat mich aufgefordert, mit ihm Monopoly zu spielen. Ich war ziemlich verwundert und meinte, Swami, das kann ich nicht machen. Ich kann doch nicht Monopoly spielen. Ich kann doch nicht um Geld spielen. Doch Swami war munter dabei und wurf die Spielkarten nur durch die Gegend. Los, Spiel, ist doch nur ein Spaß. Ich wachte von dem Traum auf und wunderte mich, was das für eine Bedeutung hatte. Ich war beglückt, dass ich ein Interview hatte, einen Traum mit Swami, aber was bedeutete das? Es war Mai 2011 und ich dachte erst, es hätte irgendetwas mit seinem Verlassen des Körpers zu tun. 4 Wochen später, im Juni 2011, passierte ein für mich großes Unglück. Ich hatte zu dem Zeitpunkt eine Firma 10 Jahre geführt, war Besitzerin dieser Firma und diese Firma ging bankrott. Ich verlor mein ganzes Geld. Das war für mich eine wirklich schlimme Zeit. Da kann ich nicht drum herum reden und ich musste ganz schön dran knabbern, um da wieder durchzukommen. Aber dank Swami begann gleichzeitig eine wunderbare neue Zeit für mich und ich wusste, dass ein viel besseres Leben auf mich wartet. Und dann wurde mir erst klar, welche Bedeutung dieser Traum für mich hatte. Hey Angelika, nimm's locker. Das Leben ist ein Spiel. Und Geld, das ist nur ein Teil dieses Spiels. Geld kommt und Geld geht. Da fällt mir noch eine zweite Geschichte ein, die passierte vor einigen Jahren. Ich hatte ein sehr, sehr schlimmes Erlebnis, war zutiefst enttäuscht und ging ins unser heimisches Sathya Sai Zentrum. Ich hatte einen Schlüssel, zog mich zurück und war wirklich wütend auf Swami. Ich habe ein bisschen geschimpft und geweint. Ich war wirklich völlig außer mir. Der Raum war leer. Niemand war im Sai-Zentrum. Plötzlich höre ich ein Rascheln und ein Klingeln an der Seite. Ich drehte mich zur Seite und sah, dass ungefähr 1,5 Meter über dem Boden eine Tamburi schwebte. Sie bewegte sich und erzeugte Rasselgeräusche. Dann legte sie sich ganz langsam auf den Boden nieder. Ich schaute dahin, schaute zurück, war ziemlich baff, drehte mich wieder zur Seite, wo die Tamburi zuvor geklungen hat und sagte, Swami, du kannst mich nicht beeindrucken. Dann schaute ich wieder nach vorne zum Altar und da kam aus mir, oh Swami, du hast mich wirklich beeindruckt. Die Tamburi, ein Spielzeug, ein Instrument. Und Swami hat mir da wieder gezeigt, hey Angelika, ich bin da auch in schwierigen Zeiten und wenn es dir nicht gut bin. Und das hier ist alles nur ein Spiel. Spieler ist.
So I came into the Baba fold through Shirdi Baba. That's how I always knew. So when I went to like the Sai centers, I used to see like Sathya Sai Baba's pictures, but I would see and I also know all about like, you know, the avatars and I have a theoretical understanding, but I kind of never knew who this person was and what I was dealing with. So in the middle of the pandemic, that's when one day I really called out to like, you know, the universe or God or spirit or Baba, however we call it, Allah, that I really want to understand what all this is about. I have been in the spiritual search for a long time. So I want to know if this is something I wanted like proof. I started like really looking for it. And they always say when the student is ready, the master appears. So that was my experience as well. So when I called and yearned for it, I started getting a lot of dreams of Baba. So every dream would almost be like an in-person interaction. Baba would come and say, start the day with love, fill the day with love, end the day with love. He would talk about equanimity. I used to get dreams almost like every other day. And I was really fascinated by it. And I thought, oh wow, this is like all like amazing. Around that time, I was living in SF. So I had this habit of going to a new coffee shop every week. So I went to this coffee shop. And after that, when I stepped out, I saw this place where they were selling all the energy stones and chakra meditation and all those type of ornaments. I was really fascinated by all these things. So I went into the store out of curiosity. But in my heart, for the first time, I realized that now I actually have a guru, right? I don't have to be dependent on these angel numbers or the chakras and stones anymore. So that was my inner voice and inner thinking, and I felt very peaceful. There was no one in that store, and there was one elderly person who was at the cashier, and he asked me if I was looking for something. I told I was not looking, I was just like checking out. And then like when we were like talking in the middle of the conversation, he said like I wanted to gift you something. And I was a bit taken aback, and I was like thinking, um, I was confused. So, but he said like I really want to give you something. So he gave me a white colored stone, and he said like whenever you feel down, use this to like wipe out all your negative energy. And I said like thank you, and I took my phone out to make a payment, and it was actually the first time I had a picture of like Baba on my phone as a wallpaper. So when I took my phone out and when I was about to make the payment, I saw this person, and this person was like crying. He was like tearing in front of my eyes. And I have never seen, an elderly person cry like that in front of me. So I was like taken aback a little. And I was thinking, did I do something to offend him? And I even like asked him, I'm sorry, did I do something to offend you? Like what happened? And he told me something that was like, it was really, really fascinating. And more than anything, it just helped me understand like how everything is connected. He said, after like 20 years, I got a dream of Baba today morning at 5 o'clock. And in my dream, he said, today I will send you one of my students, and he will come to your place. And he told today morning, and you are here in front of me, and you have this picture. So I find this moment very overwhelming, and that's why I'm like hearing it. I found this moment like very divine and beautiful as well. So I feel very grateful to have had this experience. And when I look back in life, every time I have difficulty connecting with Baba, and even when we go through personal challenges, I feel like some of these experiences, the anchor which always draws me back and then makes me realize that there is something much beyond. There is a love. There is a God who is always there with you, in you, around you.
Oh Sai Ram, you are the one who will reside in my heart. Oh Sai Ram, forevermore I'll be in your arms. Oh Sai Ram, however you ever happen to be, you'll never be far enough away for me to stray from your love. In my dreams, you are the answer. In my nightmares, please hold my hand, for eternity will be prancing hand in hand. As I lie here with my eyes closed, I feel no fear, for you will show me the way. In my dreams, you are the one. In my visions, eternal bliss, I see light of which I'll never miss. For you will stay as the light in my heart. When I need clarity, show me the way through the breeze, through the clouds, the birds and the trees. I see your visions. Oh Sai Ram, you are the one who will reside in my heart. Oh Sai Ram, forevermore I'll be in your arms. Oh Sai Ram, however you ever happen to be, you'll never be far enough away for me to stray from your love.
سلام للجميع. ساي رام لكل الأخوة والأخوات. استجابة لنداء البعض راح أذكر جذاذي بسيطة من قصص غريبة عجيبة مع الحكيم بعد انتقاله. الحكيم المبارك ليس شخص محدد بشكل أو اسم. هذا التحقق هو اللي صار بعد انتقاله المبارك عام 2011. أنا دكتور نواف الشبلي من سوريا. بالحقيقة بمجرد أن وصلتني أخبار انتقال الحكيم المبارك بذلك العام، عرفت مباشرة أن مرحلة جديدة من الوعي تنتظر الجميع، وهذا ما قد حدث في سوريا بشكل خاص. بعد أن كان قد تنبأ لنا بما سيحدث، حدث متوافقا مع وفاته مع انتقاله المبارك الحرب السورية، وكأن سوريا قد لبست حدادا على انتقاله سوادا دام أكثر من 12 عام وما زلنا نعاني للآن. أما وأثناء تلك الأحداث فكانت من أكبر المعجزات أن تابعنا الحكيم بأحداث ومعجزات رهيبة رغم أنه غير موجود فيزيائيا. هذا ما قد وضحته في كثير من المناسبات، لا أستطيع أن أذكر ضمن بضع دقائق إلا أني في عام 2019 عندما أردت الذهاب إلى بوتابارتي بسبب أحداث ومعاناة خاصة جدا صعبة، لا أريد الذهاب. كان الحكيم المبارك يلح علي بضرورة الذهاب إلى هناك، حتى أنه دعاني بتجسيد مباشر لشكله بشكل الفيبوتي على الروب الخاص الذي لدي في المركز. روبه الخاص جسد بالفيبوتي شكله، وأصابع يديه العشرة كانت توحي بالسلام وبضرورة المجيء إلى مدينة السلام، وهذا ما قد حدث. بالحقيقة من أكبر المعجزات اللي ممكن أذكرها في عام 2016 عندما حاولت أن أسافر مع أسرتي الخاصة إلى السويد، وبالتالي أردت أن أخذ الفيزا إلى السويد من نيودلهي. لم أستطع، فعدت إلى بوتابارتي. بتلك الأثناء كانت الراميانا تعقد نفرات أيام العشرة لرام. بعد انتهائها فوجئت بالحكيم عبر رؤية لزوجتي يقول بضرورة العودة إلى سوريا لأن الإرهابيين سيخترقون المكان. فعلا صدقنا الحكيم وعدنا تاركين الفيزا عرض الحائط، واثقين بالحكيم أنه سيعيد لنا الفيزا بأسلوب آخر. بالرغم من صياح ابننا الصغير رام وأنه كان ممتعض جدا من هذا الوضع، كيف أننا نعود ونخسر هذه الفيزا التي صدرت للتو بنيودلهي. تركناها وعدنا، فرأينا أن الوضع كارثي هنا في سوريا، وكان الإرهابيين على وشك الاختراق بمسافة 10 كيلومتر، صواريخ، قنابل، انفجارات. بدأنا طقوس على حسب ما وعد الحكيم وعلمنا بالرؤية لمدة 80 يوم مقسم 40 ب40. وفعلا حدث العجب، كيف أن مثل بالفيزياء مايسنر إيفكت صار في منعة قوية ولم يستطع الإرهابيين القدوم، وهكذا تمت معجزة. وبنهاية الطقوس الحكيم أرسل فيزا مرة أخرى مثل ما وعد بالضبط بنفس التاريخ إلى طهران. رح فرجيكم المكان اللي عقدنا منه الطقوس. هنا ستلاحظون من خلال هذا الروب بنفس المكان رح تلاحظوا الصورة اللي وضعت للحكيم والفيبوتي موضوعة بجانب الفيديو. مشاهد سريعة من دار السلام. قاعة المحاضرات الرئيسية البهجان. ساي رام، هذا المكان الذي عقدت منه الطقوس. مكان خاص جدا، قوي جدا. وهاي جزء من دار السلام. وهنا كل الرموز الدينية تجتمع على صورة الحكيم التي باركها شخصيا. وأخيرا ساي رام to all of you.
ساي رام، معكم أمير دبان من سوريا، من جرمانة. معرفتي الأولى للحكيم كانت عن طريق متابعة الدكتور نواف الشبلي ونشاطات دار السلام عن طريق وسائل التواصل الاجتماعي، وقرأت كتب الحكيم بفترة كانت صعبة كتير بحياتي. كان أخي الكبير مصاب بالسرطان وموته بالنهاية أثرت فيه كتير وخلت كل شيء روحاني. أنا من صغري كنت عندي اهتمامات روحية كتير، خلت كل شيء قريته بس من كتب ومن معارف وتعليم كانت مجرد كلمات وأفكار بعقلي، خلتها تنتقل من أفكار وتعليم لأشياء عم حسها وعيشها بقلبي والمشاعر اللي تفجرت بهذيك الأزمة اللي صارت معي. وكنت بفترة عمر المراهقة كمان، كان عمري 15 سنة بهداك الوقت. قصتي شخصية طويلة كتير، بس حابب اليوم شارك معكم قصة صغيرة صارت معي. لما كنت أنا والأخوة هون بنشاط سيفا عم نقوم بزراعة الأشجار، كنا عم نزرع الأشجار ونردد مانترات ونقوم بغناء أغاني روحية. وعلى امتداد الطريق وصلنا لمكان يعني نحن كنا كل 2 أو 3 عم ناخد يعني إلنا جزء بالحق عم نزرع فيه الشجر. ووصلنا لمكان كانت مليء بالأحجار، وصرت كل ما أضرب نسيت شو اسمه بالعربي، بس كل ما أضرب المنكوش أو شيء لحتى يعني لازم هو يفوت لعمق معين بالأرض لحتى نزرع الشجر، يطلع لي حجر. وصرنا على طول نجرب ويضل يطلع لي حجارة، وما بعرف شو صار معي يعني بهديك اللحظة، أنه يعني أخذتها بشكل شخصي وحسيت بحزن أنه فعلا أنه حسيت أنا حياتي كمان هيك كتير مليانة أحجار، يعني كتير في أحجار عم توقف بطريقي. وبهديك اللحظة بس حسيت هيك، وكنا يعني كنا عم نردد مانترا وهيك، فكرت هيك كتير بربنا، انه يعني مثل هيك اشتكت له انه على الحجارة اللي كانت بحياتي او شيء، يعني ربطت الموقف بحياتي الشخصية. وفجأة هيك جتني طاقة قوية بداخلي وحملت المنكوش، صرت أقول سوامي وأضرب بالأرض وما يطلع حجار. ضليت أضرب سوامي وشيل المنكوش على طول الطريق والأخوة معي، لأن أنا بضرب المنكوش بيجي أخ بدخل الشجرة، وكلياتهم كل الأخوة اللي كانوا هنيك اجوا اجتمعوا حوالي، ويعني كان منظري مو طبيعي بهذيك اللحظة. سوامي وطول الطريق اللي كنت يعني عم بضرب فيه ما طلع ولا حجر، يعني حتى اللي كانوا معي كتير اندهشوا وتعجبوا، لأنهم كمان كانوا عم يضربوا يعني بالمكان اللي أنا كمان كنت فيه وبيطلع لنا على طول حجار. يعني حسيت اللي صار كأنه معجزة صغيرة، وكأنه رسالة لإلي كمان، يعني كان مثل جواب لإلي إنه مع سوامي، مع ربنا دخيل اسمه، ما في حجارة بطريقي، ما راح يكون في حجار.
2002, and I was in an interview room in a private interview room. I was asking Swami, I'm very worried about my dad's health, he's having troubles with, he's sick. And Swami replied, he waved the hand and looked into the sky and said, he's okay, he has nothing. And, you know, I said, wow. I was like, I kind of, you know, my mind was has the doubt, and asked him again, Swami, I'm worried. I'm still worried. Sorry. Please help my dad. And they said, you know what? Don't worry. I'm going to give him the health. And then he stopped and then he said like, and I'm going to give health to your mother also. I said, okay. I was very, very happy about that. But I was like wondering why he's talking about my mother. My mother he has a very healthy condition. So I was wondering about that. But you know, back in Venezuela, everything continued like normal, worshiping Swami in pictures, feeling Swami, like everybody in Venezuela, and they feel like Swami, and like Swami saying, I'm always with you guys. I never leave you, and I didn't go anywhere. So after 2011, by the year 2008, my elder sister Aileen, she had a dream, and in the dream, Swami was, my mother was laying down in a hospital bed. Swami was touching her belly and saying, I'm gonna heal you. And my sister was telling us that the dream was something weird, but a couple of weeks later, my mom was very ill in the hospital with tumor in the stomach tumor with some bleeding and very bad things. The doctor said we need to do a very, very risky surgery. We don't know if she can survive this surgery. It was very bad. So I remember this episode with Swami came to my mind, and I say, okay, I told to my dad, Swami's gonna save her. This is the time. I know. So let's pray to Swami. We were praying to Swami the whole night. Next day, bleeding stopped. Without any explanation, they sent my mom to the house, and it was amazing. We knew it was Baba. And after that, she was fine. She was okay. In 2016, she got another problem, another bleeding with the tumor. Doctors suggested a scheduled surgery to avoid any risk in the future, you know, with the tumor, related to the tumor. They said, okay, let's do the surgery. She got the surgery, everything went okay, same day. Next day, she was so bad, all the stitches came out and broke, and she was bleeding with a very bad hemorrhage, almost dying. She told me, like, take care of your sisters, be always united. And they were trying to stop the hemorrhage, and I told to my dad, let's pray to Swami. Swami is going to take care of this. He's the only one. We start doing Japamala, Om Sai Ram, Om Sai Ram, Om Sai Ram, Om Sai, very loud. And then the nurse came out like, the doctor is watching you guys outside the surgery room. Whatever you're doing, you keep doing it. The doctor said that he's feeling some energy and he knows he can fix the problem. So he's asking me to tell you to keep doing whatever you're doing. We were chanting Om Sai Ram. Then I felt that I need to go somewhere and be only with Swami and talk to Swami. I went to a place in the hospital, sit down for meditation. After 30-45 minutes, I came into experience of my consciousness expanding. No time. I don't know how to call it. I wasn't feeling any time feeling or any sense feeling, nothing. It was just consciousness and peace. And then Swami, it was a vision. Swami came to me. It was Swami there. And I asked Swami, like, Swami, please, like, save my mother. And Swami said, why? Why should I save her? I said, please, Swami, save her. Why? Please, Swami, give her more time. Why should I give her more time? I said, Swami, please, she needs more time to keep working on her sadhana. and to realize you, to reach you, Swami. And he was smiling. And he said, okay, I'm gonna give her more time to work, for her to work on her sadhana. But she's gonna need another surgery, and after surgery she's gonna be fine. And suddenly this experience cut off. It was 2016. Experience cut off, and I came back to the senses and mind consciousness. I was crying so much. It was something powerful. I talked to my sister, to my dad, hey, this is happening. Swami's telling me she's gonna save her. She's gonna need another surgery. After 1 hour, the doctors came and they say, okay, in order to save her, she's gonna have another surgery. And it was a confirmation of Swami's experience. And after this experience, he was fine. They were asking for a lot of blood donations. All the YAs, all the SSIO members, everybody came to the hospital for the blood donations. They were chanting, Veda chanting and mantras through all the night. It was so powerful and so beautiful. And when my mom was in the ICU room, she was on the bed with a small picture of Swami. And when she woke up, one nurse came to her and said, oh, this is Sai Baba. I know some Sai Baba devotees, and I know that Sai Baba saved you. I have no doubt that he saved you. And my mom was like, wow, she started crying so much. And all these episodes starting 2002 and came to an end in 2016. So a lot of time frame, and before and after Swami Mahasamadhi. So Swami is the eternal God love. He's the more splendid and powerful incarnation of God. We all are Swami's disciples, and we all are living proof of that Swami is God on earth. Swami is God. We are the living proof of that.
You perform them when I lose my sleep. You are there when I lose inner peace. You are the answer. You perform for just not devotees. You will show all the world to believe the power of your love. You can make your vibhuti from air. You make fearless those who don't dare. You make us strong. Sometimes it can be hard to believe, but when the proof is just right there to see, Swami, you are God. Oh, Sai Ram, you are the one who will reside in my heart. Oh, Sai Ram, forevermore I'll be in your arms. Oh, Sai Ram, however you ever happen to be, you'll never be far enough away for me to stray from your love. Oh, Sai Ram, you are the one who will reside in my heart. Oh, Sai Ram, forevermore I'll be in your arms. Oh, Sai Ram, however you ever happen to be, you'll never be far enough away for me to stray from your love.
I had a meeting with my mentor in the firm, and I was going to tell her, okay, now 18 months is coming up. What cool projects can we do for next year and what's possible? And she sits me down and says, Shruti, I have something important to share with you. And I asked her, okay, what is it? I've been waiting for this meeting. She says, I had a talk with the seniors in the firm and we want you to leave the company. And I was gutted. I just immediately started crying. I said, what do you mean? And they said, oh, we just think this work is not suited for you. You're not performing well. We'd like you to leave. We'll help you transition. We'll give you a career coach and some time. And I was just bawling. I'd never cried in an office like that. And I couldn't take the news. I felt Swami let me down my self-confidence, I was just felt so rejected, so shattered. I was 21 years old at the time. It was my first job. I had not, and I think part of it was I had this kind of easy schooling life where studies came somewhat easily and I was used to doing well. There were small failures, but this felt like, I was nothing. I remember telling my parents and crying to them, and they said, "Don't worry, come home. We knew you were struggling." They were consoling me, but I felt so distraught. And my confidence was just, and so I didn't know what to do. I came home that evening and I realized, wow, thank goodness I didn't sign the lease. Because had I signed the lease, I would have paid the deposit, I would have lost a whole lot of money, been stuck in this apartment beside the office for another 18 months. Clearly, Swami has some other plan. So I thought, okay, thank goodness, Swami. I was very angry, crying and upset, but I thought, okay, there must be something in this. He hasn't left me. And so I packed up my bags. Within 2 weeks, the furniture got sold. Luckily, my roommate bought all the furniture. It was very smooth, easy. And I came back to New Zealand. And I was wondering, okay, what to do with my life now? I clearly can't even do one job. Can I do any job? Will anyone want to hire me? I was feeling so bad. And I realized in that time, I thought I was quite a confident person. And people have often even looked up to me, oh, Shruti, you seem so confident and you've taken these leadership roles in school and in the community and won these awards. And I realized actually my confidence has no foundation. It was based on affirmations from others, validation from others, roles I had. And I realized at that point, actually, if I'm really honest with myself, do I really have faith in myself? Not much. A little bit was there. And so it was quite a humbling period where I think Swami really broke me. And now I look back and I see, wow, suppose I had left with dignity. Okay, I'm choosing to leave the firm and do my own projects. My ego wouldn't have broken. I wouldn't have realized, wow, my confidence is so lacking. So years on, I'm grateful. But it was a period of really praying to Swami and saying, next time I get rejected from something, it's bound to happen in my life. I don't want to feel like this. I want to feel, okay, this is what it is. And feel more faith and with a smile on my face walk. So that came, and I started praying and seeing how I could take Swami's name and really going to his teachings. And of course, when you have that yearning, it was amazing. Actually, at the time, I was put on a side project to design study circles for the youth in our zone. And the first study circle I was given to work on was on self-confidence. And our zone coordinator at the time sat there and explained to me the big self and the small self, and we came up with exercises to do on the youth. But of course, we had to do them first. So beautifully, Swami gave me a lot of guidance, actually, now that I remember. It's a lifelong journey.
About 2 to 3 years ago, when I was going through a challenging period of my life, during this time, my dad was sick and had been diagnosed with cancer. And I was still studying in school and had just started a new semester. However, I knew that Dad's health was in poor condition and that it would be best for me to return home rather than staying at school to finish off the semester. But I was conflicted. Do I go home and be present with Dad and be there with my family, or do I stay at school so that I don't risk falling behind in my classes? At that point, I remember turning to the small photo of Swami that I had in my dorm room and asking Swami and telling him, Swami, I feel like you've thrown me into the ocean without teaching me how to swim. I have no idea of how to make the right decision in this moment. Please guide me. And after saying this prayer, I immediately heard a voice that was very silent but very persistent, telling me, go home, you are needed there. And without second thought, I immediately booked the flight ticket home to St. Louis, and I went to see my dad when he was in the hospital. And when I opened the door, I said, Dad, look, I've come to see you. And with the biggest smile on his face, he said, Sadhana, I was just thinking about you, and like an angel, you've come to see me. I feel that it is none other than Swami who has sent you here to be with me. And at that moment, I knew that it was for a fact 100% Swami that had guided me and had sent me home to be with my dad and to spend his final days with him. And although ultimately Swami decided that it was best for Dad to go home with him, I've learned through this experience and even navigating my grief what it means to truly have faith in Swami. To have faith is understanding that Swami isn't going to take away a problem or take away the challenge, but it means that Swami will take away the fear for us to be able to face that challenge. And the moment we replace our fear with faith, the voice of God becomes so clear. And that is how I've learned to see Swami as the driver of my car, and that is how I interact with Swami every day in my life now. I see him as taking care of my worries and my problems, but also guiding me through my inner voice and my intuition so that I can walk this path of transformation and ultimately become his instrument at the end.
Sai Ram, in February 2024, we organized in Prague, capital of Czech Republic, meeting for the European young adults. As a part of the program was sightseeing of autumn in Prague for the Saturday afternoon. As this program took like 4 hours, I thought it would be necessary to prepare some snacks for the participants. But I didn't know who will prepare the snacks, which was mentioned to be the sandwiches. Because in the Saturday morning, all the participants have their own program, and the Czech team, who lovingly and very kindly did a lot of work, has also been occupied by preparing another meals. So I didn't know who may prepare these sandwiches. I asked Swami in prayer how to solve this issue. And just a few days before the meeting, I received an email from the lady whose name I never heard before. And there, she wrote that she heard about this meeting and she would like to did some seva for this. So you may guess who at the end of the day prepared these sandwiches. She did it with her son, very lovingly and without any expectations. So Swami really take care about everything, and he knows every needs which we have.
You know, in 2010, a lot of Europe was flooded, and Poland was flooded very severe. And so we started to go to one place where the water had reached all the houses, like up to the roof practically. So it was people had lost everything. Like there was a family who had just renovated their house, finished it, and the flood came like 1 week later. And it was horrible to see it. I was standing, the police took us and the army took us to a moment where you were standing on like a hill, you could say, and you just saw like an ocean of water and just the houses there, it was really hard for the people. So me and my friend, we started to go there every week to help the people. We were working also together with one organization. They gave us the list of people who needed help. And Armin, this is an amazing experience because I have never in my life, I think, felt or witnessed so many miracles during 1.5 years. Every weekend, like literally every weekend, because see, like the conditions were like that we didn't know much about the families. I didn't know what they needed, and I didn't know what to take, nothing. But every week someone called, I collected furniture, things, clothes, whatever people gave, and I just had that, and I went to the place, and every week, can you imagine, during 1.5 years, it's not like 1 month or something, 1.5 years, everything was exactly what the people needed. I mean, literally 1.5 years. Like, see, there were so many people who were so lost in all this thing and the whole experience and the hope, they lost the hope. Because when you get so, turned down, of life, you really get a lot of pain and stuff. And Swami's, when they got exactly what they needed, I saw how Swami rebuilt the hope. That was such an amazing experience because their life, the joy came back. They started to feel again that they have the strength to walk up again, from this disaster. And there was a beautiful family. They had like 12 dogs, stray dogs. And the man who was there, he was paralyzed, like half of his body was paralyzed. And for 2 weeks, he was like on the roof with 12 dogs, not moving from there because they would die otherwise if he wouldn't be there. And the army came with the food and stuff for the dogs and for him. And for like 2 weeks, he was just there until the water, went down. He was an amazing guy. And this family was really like it touched my heart very much, because the first time we came, I got a kitchen. My friend told me he has a kitchen. I don't know, he must have been drunk when he measured the kitchen. He told me it is like 2.5 meters. So I said, perfect, this will fit for another family. But then I came to this place.
A cooking unit?
No, like a whole kitchen, like not only cooking unit, like a whole with furniture and stuff.
Okay.
Perfect kitchen, you can just put it in somewhere. So 2.5 meters, he said, which is fine because it's quite a small one, you can fit into someone's place. But then I came there and I just measured it. It was 6.5 meters, and it wasn't in one row. It was like broken, like in pieces. I put the kitchen. It was 3/4 of the car, and I was thinking, my goodness, why do I take this thing? Where would I put it? I would not have any place to magazine it if I don't get it off from the car. And then and the fuel and everything, So we went there. And this family, I went to another family, but the kitchen was too big. So this family was on my second on the list. So we went there, and then I asked them, what do you need? And they said, a kitchen. I said, okay, I have a kitchen, but it's quite big and it's blue. I don't know if you like it. The lady opened it up and she said, oh, it's beautiful. So then we thought, okay, we go and measure the place. We go into their house, into the kitchen. Can you imagine? The room is exactly the same room, measurements of the house that we took the kitchen from. The window is in the same place. The door is in the same place. Only 5 centimeters difference. So we just put in the kitchen there, perfectly fine. And then I asked the lady, do you need anything else? And she said, yeah, I had such a yearning for like lamps that you put on the ceiling. And can you imagine, I just got 2 new lamps from a very rich family the day before. So I just gave it to her. And the feeling of that was like, when they broke down in tears, because for them, it's a shock. They need and they get. And it was like that for like I'm telling you, like 1.5 years, week after week. Yeah, it was, I don't think I have had any better seva than this.
Es war 2022, schönes Wetter wie heute, die Sonne schien früh morgens um 7:45. Ich fuhr zur Arbeit auf dem Fahrrad in der Nordhauser Straße. Die Sonne war noch flach unten und es war beeindruckend, weil irgendwie auf einmal war nur noch dieses Licht. Licht, 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 und die Straße sah auch aus wie Licht. Also ich war wie in Meditation und dann kam so innerlich Licht, Weg zum Licht. Und dann habe ich dieses äußere Licht gesehen und habe mir dann auch das Innere vorgestellt im Anya Chakra, wie wir die Lichtmeditation machen am Monatsende von Swami. Die meisten kennen die. Und da war ich so glücklich, habe ich gedacht, wow, was für ein schönes Zeichen. Ich radel dem Licht entgegen, oder wir alle sind auf einem Lichtweg zurück in die Lichtheimat. Und dann war ich sehr, sehr glücklich. Und es dauerte wirklich ein paar Minuten, weil die Straße war sehr lang. Und ich habe das richtig aufgesogen. Und ja, dann fuhr ich weiter. Dann fuhr ich zur Arbeit. Da unterrichte ich Wassergymnastik, Reha-Sport. Und habe dann diverse Sachen erledigt und so weiter und so weiter. Und als die Gruppe dann im Wasser war, habe ich gedacht, nach ein paar Minuten, ich erzähle denen jetzt davon, was ich gerade erlebt habe. Achso, ich muss noch vorneweg schicken. Ich habe das Licht dort angemacht an dem Tag, habe die Lichter angemacht. Umkleidekabinen, Ruheraum oben und unten auch im Pool. Und da gingen 2 Lampen, gingen nicht im Pool. War so. Und dann habe ich das so akzeptiert und als ich meine Geschichte erzählt habe, gerade eben auf dem Fahrrad, und als ich das Wort Lichtweg ausgesprochen habe, sind wir alle erschrocken. Beide Poollampen gingen an.
Ist das verrückt?
Ja. Und es riss und ich dachte, wow, Lichtkräfte überall und nochmal die Bestätigung. Alle haben das mitgekriegt, ja. Bei dem Wort Lichtweg gingen beide Lichter an. Ein Phänomen.
Ja,
das war eine Bestätigung. Am Tag danach um 9 Uhr habe ich eine Online-Yoga-Stunde gehabt. Und das Erlebnis hat mich so beschäftigt, dass ich, als die Yogastunde anfing, habe ich den Leuten dann auch erzählt, habe gesagt, Mensch, ich habe gestern was Wunderbares erlebt, habe die Geschichte erzählt. So, es war ein bewölkter Tag, die Sonne schien nicht, es war sehr, sehr bewölkt. Als ich das Wort Lichtweg sage, scheint die Sonne genau auf mein Gesicht, durch die Wolken durch. Auch alle konnten es sehen auf dem Video. Alle konnten es sehen. Davor Dunkelheit. Und als ich das Wort Lichtweg sage, schien das Licht auf mich.
My name is Maria Beltrán. Now I'm living in Germany and I am the Deputy Young Adult Coordinator of Zone 7. I will tell you a story about how Swami manifests his love for me during these first months arriving here in Germany. I arrived here to study a master's degree in November, and I was full of many emotions at the same time: new city, new language, new way to live, many responsibilities at the same time: my study, my life, my nutrition, and I was overwhelmed. I felt overwhelmed. I was walking in the street and I was asking Swami, help. You need to help me. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to solve this problem and disorder, and I was very, very upset. So in front of me suddenly appears a board in the street with a phrase in Spanish. I speak Spanish. That's my native language. And it said, "Is everything is going to be okay?" So in that moment, in this city that it's very difficult to find someone who speaks Spanish or even English, to read something in my native language saying me that everything is going to be okay, I know that it was Swami. And I know that he's always listened to me and trying to give me an answer as soon as possible. So that's the way I felt Swami in my life. And there are a lot of experiences too that are related with that instantly answers. And I know that the only thing that I have to do is ask help. And I know that Swami will be with me in the right moment.
Swami, he comes to us in oh so many ways. Sometimes I need a hand and someone comes to save me. And I wonder to myself, is it just chance or is it something else? And I remember Swami's watching over me. Sometimes I need some time to work on some assignment. Swami, he knows me, and like that my higher ups, and that the meeting's off today, and I'm relieved I have the day off. And like that, Swami's watching over me. Is it chance or is it fate, or is it Swami's hand at play? If I may, I know Swami's great divinity. Oh Sai Ram, you are the one who will reside in my heart. Oh Sai Ram, forevermore I'll be in your arms. Oh Sai Ram, however you ever happen to be, you'll never be far enough away for me to stray from your love.
ప్రేమ స్వరూపులారా,
embodiments of love.
స్వామి యొక్క ఎగ్జాంపుల్ మీకు కొంతవరకు అర్థం కావాలి.
You have to know Bhagavan from Bhagavan himself.
నేను ఒక్క పర్యాయము నీవు నావాడు అని అన్న తర్వాత ఇంకా ఆ మాట ఏనాటికి కూడా తప్పదు.
When once Bhagavan says you are mine, he will never go back.
వాడు నన్ను విరోధి అయినప్పటికీ, నాకు విరోధి అయినప్పటికీ నేను వారిని మనవను.
He may reverse the gear, but Bhagavan still owns you.
నేనంటే వాడు ద్వేషపడవచ్చును, కానీ అతనంటే నాకు ద్వేషం లేదు.
He may develop hatred, but Bhagavan continues to love
ఎవరు
you.
నాకు ద్వేషులు అనేటువంటి వారే జగత్తులో కానరారు.
In this world, Bhagavan does not hate anybody.
ఎవరు నాకు అయిష్టమైనటువంటి వారే లేరు.
There's nothing like disliking anybody.
కనుక నేను ఇచ్చినటువంటి ప్రామిస్ నేను చక్కగా జరుపుకుంటుంటాను.
He will uphold the promise that he has made.
నా నడక ముందుకే కానీ వెనుకని వేయదు.
Bhagavan proceeds forward, never backward.
వాళ్ళని రక్షించే నిమిత్తమే నేను ఎప్పుడు ముందు వస్తుంటాను.
Bhagavan runs forward to protect you.
ఎలాంటి పరిస్థితులు ఏందని కూడా నేను వెనుకంచి వేయను.
Under any circumstances, he will never retreat, go
అయితే
backward.
ఇలాంటి పరిస్థితి ఎందుకు కూడాను స్వామివాడు నేను అనుకున్నప్పటికీ అలాంటి వారు అనేక కష్టములకు నష్టములకు గురి అవుతుంటారు.
Though you belong to Swami, yet you face certain problems and difficulties.
తనవాడైనప్పుడు వారికి కష్టములు ఎందుకు కలగాలి?
When once we belong to him, why should we have
వారి
problems?
బాధలకు ఎందుకు గురి కావాలి?
Why should we suffer?
వారు ఎందుకు ఈ దుఃఖంలో మునిగిపోవాలి
Why grief stricken?
అని కొంతమంది ప్రశ్నించవచ్చును.
Some may question.
ఇది నాది కాదు దోషం.
Nothing wrong with Swami.
నేను ఇచ్చినటువంటి ప్రామిస్ నేను చక్కగా జరుపుతుంటున్నాను, చక్కగా నిర్వర్తిస్తున్నాను.
Swami will keep up to the promise.
అయితే
However,
ఈ బాధలు కలగడానికి కారణం ఏమిటి?
why sufferings?
తానిచ్చినటువంటి ప్రామిసులు తప్పిపోవటమే ఈ బాధలకు మూల కారణము.
Because we miss our own promise given to him, we suffer.
తన వాగ్దానాన్ని తాను తప్పిపోవటం వల్ల,
Because we don't go by the
తన
promise,
పవిత్రతను తాను మార్చుకోవటం చేత,
we lose our sanctity.
తన అపవిత్రతను తాను అభివృద్ధి పరచుకోవటం చేత
As we proceed in
కానీ
unsacred way,
కష్టములకు దుఃఖములకు గురి అవుతున్నాడు.
so we suffer, we grieve.
అంతేకాని స్వామి ఇచ్చినటువంటి వాగ్దానం ఏనాటికి కష్టములు అందించదు.
Swami's promise will never make you suffer, will never put you in
కడపటి
difficulties.
వరకు కూడా నేను వెంటనే జంటనే ఇంటనే కంటనే ఉంటుంటాను.
Till the last moment, Swami will be with you, around you, in you, after you.
ఇలాంటి సత్యాన్ని అనేక మంది గుర్తించడానికి ప్రయత్నించడం లేదు.
Many are not making an effort to know this truth.
వారి కష్టములకు నష్టములకు దుఃఖములకు మూల కారణం ఏమిటి అనేటువంటి దాన్ని వారు విచారించడం లేదు.
They don't bother to know the reason for their suffering, losses and
వారి
difficulties.
హృదయ మార్పులే దీనికి మూల కారణము.
The change in their heart is the main cause.
వారి మనోచంచలములే దీనికి మూల కారణము.
Wavering mind is the cause.
వారి కృతజ్ఞత లేకుండా మర్చిపోవటమే దీనికి మూల కారణము.
Their ingratitude is the cause.
తల్లి కంటే మిగులు దైవం దగ్గర.
God is nearer than your father.
తల్లి కంటే అభివృద్ధిగా ఎంతో ప్రేమతో నేను చూసుకున్నప్పటికీ ఆ దీనిని కృతజ్ఞతను వారు చూపలేకపోతున్నారు.
Though God is more intimate than your mother, you are not grateful to
నేను ఆ
him.
కృతజ్ఞత కోసం కూడా నేను కాచుకోవటం లేదు.
Bhagavan doesn't look forward for your gratitude.
కానీ నా డ్యూటీ నేను చేసినప్పుడు నీ డ్యూటీ నువ్వు చెయ్యాలి.
When Bhagavan does his duty, we have to discharge our duty.
నీ స్థాయి నుంచి నీవు నీ యొక్క డ్యూటీని కర్తవ్యాన్ని నిర్వర్తించాలి.
You have to discharge your duty from your level.
దైవం ఏనాటికి ఎవరికి కూడా ఏ కష్టములు ఏ దుఃఖములు అందించడు.
God will never make you suffer. He will never allow you to face
కర్మల
problems and
యొక్క
troubles.
ఫలితమే నీకు ఈ దుఃఖాన్ని అందిస్తుంటుంది.
They are only the reactions of your own
నీ
actions.
చర్యల యొక్క ఫలితమే ఈ యొక్క దుఃఖాన్ని అందిస్తుండాలి.
That's because you were
నీ
thinking
నడతల యొక్క
intelligence.
ఫలితమే ఈ యొక్క దుఃఖాన్ని
That is the
అందిస్తుండాలి.
result, consequence of your
కానీ
behavior.
అప్పుడు ఎప్పుడు వస్తుందో ఏమొస్తుందో ఏనాటికి వస్తుందో తెలియదు.
When you are going to suffer, what
ప్రతి
way?
కర్మకు కూడా నువ్వు ఒక విధమైనటువంటి ప్రతిఫలం ఉంటుండాలి.
Every action is bound to have reaction.
ఇది అప్పటికప్పటికే జరగవచ్చును.
It may be immediate.
కొన్ని గంటలలో జరగవచ్చును,
After a few hours,
కొన్ని దినములలో జరగవచ్చును,
few days,
కొన్ని నెలల్లో జరగవచ్చును,
few months,
కొన్ని జన్మల్లో జరగవచ్చు.
or a couple of lives.
ఒక చిన్న ఉదాహరణ చూడండి.
A small example.
నీవేదో పెన్సిల్ జీరుకుంటుంటే బ్లేడ్ చేయి కోసుకుంటుంది.
When you're just chopping off your pencil, you cut your finger.
కానీ ఆ కర్మ జరిగిన తక్షణమే రక్తం బయట వేస్తుంది.
Immediately as the blade cuts your
దాని
finger, you
ఫలితం
find
అప్పటికప్పటికే
bleeding.
తెలుస్తుంది.
The bleeding starts immediately then and there itself.
నీవు ఎక్కడైనా మెట్లు ఎక్కుతుంటావు,
You climb up the staircase.
కాలు జారుతుంది, జారి కింద పడిన తక్షణమే కాలు విరుగుతుంది.
You slip and get your leg broken.
నిన్న జారటము ఈ పొద్దు విరగటం అనేటువంటిది జరగదు.
And you don't slip yesterday, and
జారి
you don't get
పడినప్పుడే
such
కాలు
like that
విరుగుతుంది.
today. As you slip, and your leg breaks there.
ఇంకో కర్మ లోపల ఒక విత్తనం నీవు నాటినావు.
Another action, you sow the
ఆ
seed.
విత్తనం నాటిన తక్షణమే చెట్టు కాదు, వృక్షం కాదు.
The moment you sow the seed, it doesn't germinate immediately.
కానీ 3-4 దినములకు అది మొక్కలుగా బయలుదేరుతుంది.
It takes 3 or 4 days to grow into sapling.
నీవు భోంచేసావు పొద్దున.
You have eaten this
కానీ
morning.
భోంచేసిన తక్షణమే జీర్ణం కాదు.
It won't be digested
దానికి 2
forthwith.
hours టైం తీసుకుంటుంది.
It needs 2 hours time for digestion.
ఇంకా కొన్ని కర్మలు ఏ విధంగా ఉంటుంటాయి?
Certain other actions are there.
మొక్కలైన తక్షణమే ఫలము రాదు.
The moment it grows into a plant, you don't get tree.
అది వృక్షం కావడానికి 10 సంవత్సరాలు తీసుకుంటుంది.
For the tree to develop, it takes 10 years.
10 సంవత్సరాలు అయిన తర్వాతనే ఆ ఫలం మనకు లభ్యమవుతుంది.
It starts yielding fruit after 10 years of period of time.
కనుక ఈ జన్మంలోనే కాకుండా మరొక జన్మంలో కూడాను ఈ యొక్క ఫలితం కూడా మనకు వెంటాడుతుంటది.
You may face the reaction this life or next life to
మంచి
follow.
కానీ చెడ్డ కానీ కర్మ ఫలమైనటువంటి తప్పినది కాదు.
Good or bad, there's bound to be reaction. You
అయితే
cannot escape.
అలాంటి తప్పినది కానప్పుడు దైవాన్ని ఎందుకు మనం చింతించాలి?
When the consequences are inescapable, why should we pray to God?
దైవాన్ని చింతించడం ఈ బాధల నివారణ కోసం కాదు.
Not for the solution or a cure.
నీకు మనశ్శాంతి కోసం దైవాన్ని ప్రార్థించు.
You have to pray to God for mental
ఆ
peace.
శాంతి నీకు లభ్యం కావాలంటే ఈ కష్టములు దూరం అయిపోతాయి.
In order to have that peace, you should be away from the problem.
నీ కర్మలు ఆచరించినప్పటికీ ఆ కర్మలు కూడా నిన్ను తప్పించి వేస్తాయి.
Even if you perform certain action, you'll be free from the result.
ఒక చిన్న ఉదాహరణ,
A small example.
ఒక మెడిసిన్ బాటిల్ ఉంటుండాలి.
You have got the medicine bottle.
ఈ మెడిసిన్ బాటిల్ లోపల మాత్రలంతా ఉన్నాయి.
You have the tablets there.
అది 97వ సంవత్సరంకు ఎక్స్పైర్ అయిపోయింది.
Date of expiry 1997.
కానీ 98 ఇప్పుడు ఎండ్ అవుతా ఉంటుండాలి.
Now 98 is coming to
ఆ
conclusion.
బాటిల్ ఆ మందు ఉంటుండాలి.
There are tablets inside.
కానీ అప్పుడు ఆ మందుకు ఏ విధమైనటువంటి పవర్ ఉండదు.
But the tablets are powerless because of date of
మందు
expiry
ఉంది.
past. There are tablets.
కానీ ఎక్స్పైర్ అయిపోయింది.
But the date of expiry
అదే
over.
రీతిగానే
Likewise.
నీలో కర్మ అనేటువంటిది ఉంది.
There is action reaction.
కానీ దైవానుగ్రహంలో అది ఎక్స్పైర్ అయిపోతుంది.
Because of God's grace, date of expiry comes to a close.
కనుకనే ఆ ఎక్స్పైర్ కావడానికి నీ ప్రార్థన అవసరము.
Yes, for the date of expiry, your prayer is
ఆ
needed.
కష్టం నిన్ను అనుభవించకుండా చేయడానికి ఈ ఎక్స్పైర్
In order to see that you will not pass through the problems, you have got to pray for
కనుక దైవ
the date of
ప్రార్థన చేసి ఎన్ని
expiry.
విధమైనటువంటి యొక్క మేలు జరుగుతుంటది.
By taking divine activity, you will be helped.
కనుక ఆ ప్రార్థన కూడాను హృదయపూర్వకంగా మనం చేయాలి.
You have to pray wholeheartedly.
నీ హృదయం అనేటువంటిది భగవంతుని యొక్క స్థానము.
Hridaya is the seat of our Lord.
కాబట్టి నీ హృదయం నందు ఉన్నటువంటి యొక్క భగవంతుని స్మరించు.
Think of God who is installed in your heart.
ఎక్కడెక్కడో నువ్వు బయట తట్టిపోయి నీవు ఆనందాన్ని అనుభవించాలంటే వీలు కాదు.
You cannot expect happiness in the outside
నీ
world.
ఆనందం అవుట్ సైడ్ లేదు.
The bliss is not outside.
పదార్థంలో లేదు.
Not in the material.
ప్రపంచంలో లేదు.
Not in the world.
కర్మలలో లేదు.
Not in action.
ఇంకే విధమైనటువంటి యొక్క వస్తువుల్లో లేదు.
In no sort of the material.
నీ ఆనందం నీ యందే ఉంటున్నది.
Your happiness is within you.
ఇది బయట చిక్కేటువంటిది కాదు.
You can't get it
నువ్వు
outside.
వెతికితే లభించేటువంటిది కాదు.
You can't search for
నువ్వు
it.
వెతకవలసింది లోపల వెతకాలి.
You have to search within.
నీ యొక్క దీని హృదయం నందే నీ వెతికినప్పుడు నీ ఆనందం నీకు లభ్యమవుతుంది.
When you search within your heart, you find the bliss over there.
Luego de que tuvimos el problema del robo que nos vaciaron, no veía la forma, siempre estaba con deuda en el banco, porque claro, fueron en ese momento del 1 a 1 eran como 60.000, no más. Precio al público habrán sido cientos de miles y precio de costo eran como 70.000, 80.000 dólares. En ese momento valía el dólar. Y, ¿cómo se llama? Y entonces empezamos a remontar, pero siempre quedaban las deudas, las cuentas en los bancos, las cosas. Y nos levantamos y trabajamos bastante, comisión, nos levantamos a las 7, cerramos a las 10 de la noche, no tenía que decir, éramos 8, estamos a la paz. Entonces empecé a decirle a mi señora Cristina, vamos a hacer una vida más espiritual, por favor. Pero ¿cómo que de espiritual? No, vamos a poner a la venta la farmacia, vámonos a Bariloche, hagamos una vida de pueblo con los chicos en Bariloche, espiritualmente, vamos a la montaña, vamos acá, vivamos... No, Gustavo, como diciendo, estacioná. No, Gustavo, no, esperá, no, eso no. Bueno, pero espera un poco, ya sé que nos pasó esto, pero... Bueno, o hagamos otra cosa. Bueno, quédate tranquilo. Me acuerdo que en eso va y teníamos un altar acá en una habitación, al fondo, ¿no? Donde era el geriátrico, donde después vivíamos. Y yo me sentaba y digo, ay, ¿cómo puedo hacer para estar más tranquilo, Swami? ¿Cómo puedo hacer para estar más tranquilo? Bueno, al rato, a la noche, Cristina la despertaba, la movía. Cristina se despertaba. ¿Qué pasa, Gustavo? ¿Por qué no hacemos una vida más espiritual? ¿Por qué no vamos un poco y estamos más tranquilos? Gustavo, ¿vos querés? Andá y pedile vos a Swami de que venderla y listo. Bueno, se dormía. Cristina la despertaba. Vos sos mujer, a vos te escucha más. Vos sos más devota. Vos te portás bien. Yo hago a veces macana. ¿Por qué no le pedís vos? Me mira, basta, ¿por qué no dormí? Me decía. Bueno, pasaron unos días de vueltas con complicaciones, cosas así, y la llamo, Cristina, me dice, Gustavo, basta, levántate, andá y pedile vos. Bueno, está bien, lo voy a hacer. Me levanto, me arrodillo, me estoy sentado y le empiezo a pedir, Swami, mi señora dice que te diga que lo mejor para nosotros. Pues yo estoy cansado, yo ya no quiero más. Por favor, yo quiero venderla. Te pido por favor de venderla. Por ahí es otra cosa mejor. Pero yo quiero venderla. Bueno, te lo pido como amigo, te lo pido de todas formas. Y me quedé charlando con Swami, como si fuera un amigo, bastante tiempo. Bueno, me voy de nuevo, me levanto, voy a la cama. Cristina, ya está, ya lo dice. Bueno, 2 horas a dormir, me decía. Bueno, está bien. Era un domingo. Chicos, al lunes, al mediodía, a la mañana más o menos, me llama una señora de una inmobiliaria. Señor Nayar, ¿cómo le va? ¿Usted tiene todavía intenciones de vender la farmacia? Uy, ya, decía. Sí. Bueno, mire, hoy, durante la mañana, estuvo un señor del lado de enfrente de la farmacia mirando el movimiento y todo, y está interesado en comprarla. ¿Quiere que le diga, que le hable así nos juntamos y si está interesado? Sí, cómo no, sí, cómo no. Bajo y mi señor no lo podía ni creer. La cuestión que el día martes nos juntamos con él, charló, le gustó cómo éramos nosotros, cómo estaba la farmacia, vea que éramos gente sencilla, qué sé yo. Y el miércoles nos ponen 180.000, es decir, me dijo, sí, se hace la operación. Bueno, nos da unos cheques y el día viernes nos deposita $180.000. Así nomás. No, nos dio la mitad el día miércoles. Y el viernes deposita el resto. Y nos dice, yo la verdad que soy bancario. Fui gerente de un banco. No sé por qué hago esto. Y encima sin nada, sin ningún recibo, sin nada, nos da $180.000. Y nosotros con mi señora nos miramos así, nosotros sabemos por qué. Así que, bueno, son las cosas que hace Swami, ¿no? Y de ahí empezamos a armar el edificio que teníamos nosotros de 4 pisos, arreglarlo todo con esa plata y poner una residencia geriátrica para hacer la vida espiritual, para tratar de darle a las personas mayores y en sus últimos momentos la vida o lo que le podíamos dar antes de partir, antes que ellos partan. Es decir, pensábamos hacer un servicio y de paso teníamos un negocio. Así fue como se armó la residencia geriátrica Sathya, acá en Buenos Aires.
When I was around 9 or 10 years old, at that time, I was going to Puttaparthi on the Chinese New Year program from Indonesia. I was told that everyone who went with the group was given permission to write a letter, and the team leader would give the letter to Swami. So, at that time, I was very enthusiastic about trying to write what was in my heart and desires. Arriving in Puttaparthi, I followed a lot of programs, bhajans, exercise, and so on. I also fill my free time by writing, completing of my letter, and also drawing Lord Shiva in my letter, because I really admire Lord Shiva from childhood until now. So I drew it on a small piece of paper and complete the letter off by asking that the asthma or breath shortness that I had experienced since I was kid could disappear. Then I put the letter and picture in a white envelope, and it was the time that to submit the letter in the mandir before the Vedic began. So at the time, I was very excited, but it turned out that our letters were not taken, and reportedly Swami didn't come out today. I took the letter back and felt very sad and put it back. I was disappointed because I wrote it with full of sincerity at the time. Somehow the next day I was sick and I thought the letters would not be taken. I did not attend the bhajan that morning, and at the time all the letters were taken by Swami, but my letter was not taken because I didn't know and was sick. Long short story, I cried after getting the news. Time passed when I wanted to return to Indonesia. I looked for the letter that I had put on the table in the room, and it wasn't there, and I opened the whole room and the letter wasn't there too. I thought that if it was lost, so yeah, let it be, because Swami didn't take it either. So I didn't think too much about it anymore. After 9 or 10 years when I finished college, I tried to find my old pitch in my cupboard. I opened the cupboard and found an envelope. When I opened the envelope, it contained a pitch of Lord Shiva that I drew. A letter that I folded when I was 9 or 10. When I wanted to read the letter again, I saw Vibhuti spilling on my shirt and trousers. Then my tears fell, and then I realized that in the past 10 years I had never complained about my asthma. That I felt so guilty because I didn't realize that my asthma had disappeared, but I didn't realize that it was all cause of Swami. And that means Swami had taken my letter and written it with a healing that I didn't realize. Thank you, Swami, for that. I always consider him to be my friend, my relative, my brother, and my parents.
Dearest Swami, not a single day passes without us thinking of you. But we know that not a single moment passes without you thinking of us. We pray that we feel your presence in our hearts always, and that our love for you grows stronger and stronger. We love you, Swami. We love you so much.
Gadiche pratikshanam Neetone gadapalani Memu vine padalanni Nee matale kavalani Maloni talapulanni Neeku vivarinchalani Kriyalanni kaitake Ankitam cheyalani Vechi unnamu ee rojuke Oh Sai Ram despair. I call your name, you're always there. In times of trouble and despair, I call your name, you're always there. How can we thank you, oh dear Sai Ma, for all your patience and love, Sai Ma? How can we thank you, oh dear Sai Ma, for all your patience and love, Sai Ma? Eres mi madre, padre, eres mi Dios, Sai Baba. Eres mi madre, padre, eres mi Dios, Sai Baba. Baba, Sai Baba. Baba, Sai Baba. Every moment of my life, please be with me. In every single act of mine, be thou my guide. Baba, Sai Baba. Baba, Sai Baba. When I slip, when I fall, lend me your hand. When I stray far away, bring me back again. Baba, Sai Baba. Baba, Sai Baba. From the darkness into light, lead me farther. From unreal to the real. Baba, Sai Baba. Baba, Sai Baba.
You are my heart and my heartbeat. You are my goal. My life will be to see you, and every breath of mine is yours. My only desire is that my life be offered to you. Without you, Sai, one cannot live nor have peace.
हमको तुमसे प्यार कितना, हमको तुमसे प्यार कितना, साई तुम ही जानते हैं, साई तुम ही जानते हैं, दिलों की धड़कन तुम हो साई, दिलों की धड़कन तुम हो साई, तुम हमारे प्राण हो, तुम हमारे प्राण हो, हमको तुमसे प्यार है, we love you, dear Sai, we love you, we love you, dear Sai, we love you, we love you, dear Sai, we love you.
ओम जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्त जना संरक्षक भक्त जना संरक्षक कल्कि महेश्वर ओम जय जगदीश हरे शशिवदना श्रीधरा सर्वा प्राणपते स्वामी साई राम प्राणपते आश्रित कल्पन गीता आश्रित कल्पन गीता आपकाय ओम जय जगदीश हरे
सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो